Hello YouTube, it's been a while. In the last 2 months I've crossed 3 countries, each with its own surprises. But first, let me take you to a place where this journey really began. I flew out here to celebrate a friend's wedding. Honestly, I didn't have much of a plan, just a wedding on the agenda, and that left plenty of room for some spontaneous adventures. Sometimes the best moments come when you're not looking for them. First breakfast in Vancouver, we went classic with a Hong Kong-style diner, Happy Valley Food City. They serve all the Hong Kong staples, macaroni in soup, instant noodles with beef, and of course, cold lemon tea. The portions here are bigger compared to back home. In Hong Kong terms, it's definitely daikinggataiso. Elise and I have been craving Yunnan-style rice noodles, or maixin, so we couldn't pass up the chance to try some here. We liked that the noodles didn't have that artificial taste sometimes get in Hong Kong, but I was hoping for a bit more flavor in the broth. 7 out of 10. Then we're off to get some quick budget shopping at Dollarama. As responsible pet owners, we're obliged to get some treats for our 2 lovely tabbies.
貓玩具，貓玩具，同埋貓嘢食。Yes, I think so.
Go follow them on Instagram. We then took a long drive to Yaohan Center, Papapun Jungsam, to try a whole mango. I can't say for sure if they use an entire mango in each drink, but you can count on getting real mango, which is surprisingly rare. Next, we headed to the MacArthur Glen Designer Outlets. Conveniently located right by Vancouver Airport, with the nice weather, it's a great spot to spend a couple of hours. My only gripe? You're constantly being buzzed by the planes flying directly overhead. If shopping is your thing, you'll find a range of brands here, but this list is far from complete, so do your own research before coming.
多款過香港好多。
As for me, being the thrifty person I am, I left without buying anything. After that, we headed back to the city for sushi. The portions were unreal. The sashimi was easily 2 to 3 times thicker than what you would normally expect. It was the perfect way to wrap up the day. The next morning, we headed to OEB, which serves all kinds of breakfast, everything from simple eggs on toast to eggs royale, French toast, and Canada's own poutine. It was my first time trying poutine, and I felt so stuffed afterward. But it was worth every single calorie, and of course I had to burn those off later on. I'm staying in an area called Brentwood, located in North Burnaby. It's quite walkable with plenty of food options, and there's a train station nearby, making it easy to get around the Metro Vancouver area. While Elise was off helping the bride with wedding prep, I found a cozy cafe to get some work done. When it comes to planning trips, there's a lot to keep track of. Managing itineraries, different time zones, and tracking expenses in various currencies can be overwhelming. That's why I created the ZestFi Ultimate Travel Organizer. It streamlines planning by letting you convert time zones, track stops and durations, record expenses in multiple currencies, and even split group expenses with ease. There's a free demo link below using a real trip I took to Okinawa, Japan, and a discount code inside to thank you for checking it out. If you're looking to save time and simplify planning, give it a try. I found a bubble tea shop called Hung Fuk Tong, known for stir-frying boba in a wok. I tried their signature brown sugar boba milk. While the pearls were great, the milk tasted a bit artificial. On our 3rd day, we decided to explore Stanley Park. It's one of the largest urban parks in North America and home to the longest uninterrupted seafront walkway in the world. More on that in a minute. The park has around 500,000 trees, some of which are hundreds of years old. Hiking along the trail, surrounded by the amazingly beautiful trees, is a relaxing and serene experience. After some wandering and checking Google Maps, we finally made our way to the highest point, the Prospect Point. It's not just a lookout. There's an ice cream stand, a gift shop, and a cafe. The real highlight is the breathtaking view. From here, you get an incredible panorama of North Vancouver and the iconic Lionsgate Bridge stretching across the water. Afterwards, we headed back down to take a walk along the iconic seawall. And believe it or not, this walkway has been standing for nearly a century, and it's shared not only by pedestrians but also cyclists and skaters. When I stumbled upon the totem poles at Brockton Point, seeing them up close really makes you appreciate the rich cultural history of this place. And as someone who loves reading about history, this was definitely a highlight for me. The park has so much more to offer, but unfortunately we had to move on. I'm already hoping to return someday and cycle around the seawall for a full experience. To finish off the day, we found a sushi spot with a hipster vibe, Hello Nori, which specializes in hand rolls. We opted for their 5 hand roll sets featuring toro, yellowtail, Hokkaido scallop, snow crab, and truffle lobster. This was surprisingly filling. The morning started with ironing the veil for the bride. Afterward, I headed to the Brentwood Mall to try the famous acai bowl. But since the shop wasn't open yet, we made a quick stop at Tim Hortons for a bite to eat. Once the acai shop finally opened, I was not disappointed. It was the perfect balance of taste, nutrition, and aesthetics. Later that day, we headed to West Vancouver for Katie and Simon's wedding. The venue was a waterfront location with panoramic views of the ocean. It is the perfect setting for the occasion. Before the ceremony, I had some extra time, so I decided to take a stroll along the beach and the pier. And of course, a huge congratulations to Katie and Simon. Thank you for the incredible feast and for letting us be part of your special day. Our last day on Vancouver, We spent the day with our friends. We started with sushi for lunch, followed by a visit to Stanley Park, where the stunning views left us wishing for something similar back in the UK. Afterward, we headed to the Lynn Canyon Suspension Bridge, which hangs 50 meters above the canyon. It was absolutely jam-packed with people, which is understandable because it's free entry. The hiking trail that followed was gentle and easy.
Sketchy. 係咪？但我 feel 到搖下而家。Look at that. Waterfall. Yeah. Keep going. That looks like a water slide.
Wrapped up our days in Vancouver, but the journey wasn't over yet. Next stop, the United States. What comes to mind when you think of Seattle? Space Needle, Starbucks, rainy weather? We didn't have any big expectations coming into Seattle, but the city had its own way of surprising us. After crossing the Canada-US border on a Greyhound bus and traveling 140 miles, we're on this top of a hill overlooking Lake Washington.
That's Seattle. That's Bellevue.
Seattle's wildlife coexists with humans in an incredible way. Black bears, bobcats, cougars, even gray wolves roam the area. We even spotted a young black bear casually strolling through our backyard.
He's gone.
Next, we made a quick stop at a Seattle premium outlet because, well, we had a shopping list from friends. Then it was off to Pike Place Market, which is so huge you could easily spend half a day exploring. From fresh produce to handmade souvenirs, this place has it all. We passed by the very first Starbucks. The line was ridiculously long, so there's no way we're getting inside. But you can still see the original logo and find some exclusive merch. If you really want to get inside the shop, be prepared to line up for 45 minutes. One highlight, Beecher's handmade cheese. They make the cheese on site, and trust me, their mac and cheese is the best I've ever tried. You can even watch the cheese making process through the window.
Trick on that one.
Pretty good.
What?
Medium shrimp and big lobster and big shrimp.
Everybody's all good. We got lobsters.
Snoqualmie Falls is another must-see. This natural wonder stands 270 feet tall and is just east of Seattle. Fun fact, it's been generating electricity since 1902. In winter, the waterfall freezes over and looks like an ice sculpture. Back in Bellevue, we dined at I Love Sushi on Lake Bellevue. If you want an authentic Japanese dining experience, you've come to the right place. We tried a bento box and jirashi sushi, sushi rice topped with a variety of fish. The portions were huge. I've been to a few Costco's in the UK, but visiting a US Costco was an experience in itself. Fun fact, Costco's headquarters are right here in Seattle, so it felt fitting to check it out and see what's different. For starters, there's a lot more salmon. Makes sense since it's native to Washington, and of course, Halloween decorations. Oh, and you better stock up on these bad boys because you never know when the zombie apocalypse will happen. And of course, I couldn't leave without mentioning the iconic Costco hot dog. We wrapped up the day with dinner at Miss Saigon Kitchen, a Vietnamese spot serving up pho with rich bone broth. And yes, we ate like cavemen, because using a knife and fork would be boring. We passed by the Boeing factory and got a glimpse of where the planes are made before heading to the Museum of Flight. Just south of Seattle, the Museum of Flight sits right next to King County International Airport, also known as Boeing Field. The moment you walk in, you're greeted by an impressive display of historic aircraft hanging from the ceiling, including a replica of a century-old German plane. But this one takes us even further back.
So apparently this is based on a Da Vinci drawing. Would you fly in it?
I came in with not much knowledge about flights at all, and came out as an aerospace nerd. Our first stop was the Great Gallery, home to 39 full-size aircrafts that chart the history of the first century of flight. It's the kind of place that makes you feel small, yet leaves you in awe of what humans have managed to accomplish.
So apparently this is the slowest airplane, and this is the fastest.
Actually, it's the second slowest plane ever, capable of flying as slow as 9 miles per hour. And this is the Lockheed SR-71 Viper with a top speed of over 2,100 miles per hour, more than twice the speed of sound. We joined a tour led by this wonderful guide. He was so passionate about everything related to aviation, he even extended the tour by an extra half hour, and none of us minded. Next, we headed to the Apollo exhibit, home to the powerful rocket engines that propelled the Apollo missions to the moon. And right here, an actual rock brought back from the lunar surface. Then, we made our way to the Space Gallery, home to the full-scale NASA Space Shuttle trainer. Spanning 15,000 square feet, it's packed with interactive exhibits that give you a feel for what it's like to live and work in space. Then we headed to the Personal Courage Wing, which dives into the heroics of fighter aviation during the two world wars. With 28 beautifully restored fighter planes, the gallery is designed like a black box to protect these delicate artifacts. Walking through felt like stepping back in time. The exhibits are split between two floors, upstairs for First World War planes and downstairs for the Second World War aircraft. Wonder why that is?
Baby, she's not a dame nor a lady. Not in the way she walks, the way she talks, or the way she loves me. Just look at me, I'm like a monkey.
We also checked out this extensive lineup of miniature planes, and if models aren't your thing, the gallery's display of pilot uniforms might catch our eye.
She asks me when I say let's go out dancing. Your place or mine, don't waste my time with
There's also a gallery dedicated to Boeing and an outdoor exhibition, but ran out of time for those. If you want to do the whole museum justice, plan to spend 3 to 4 hours there. There's no better way to wrap up the trip than having clam chowder, a burger, and tater tots. Seattle's energy and charm definitely made an impression, and I'll be back to explore more. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to check out my other vlogs. And if you're ready to take your travel planning from chaotic to smooth, grab my travel planner template before your next trip. The link's in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.